So we end up calling a 3-bet with Jack 10 off over on the right-hand table, and he checks to us on Queen 10-9. Um, I think I'm a little conflicted between betting and checking back here. On the one hand, if I bet, I can control the pace of the hand a little better because he's
Hmm.
probably not going to check raise much, so it lets
Hmm.
me decide whether I want to bet or check on turns.
Sure.
Um, but if I check it, it gives me a pretty strong hand with a decent draw in my check back range that I can call every turn.
I
What do
think
you
I
feel
think I
like?
think you make this decision based off of how much he's check raising you on the flop. If he's the type of player that's not check raising you too often, then I would say it's a bet. Okay. If he's the type of guy that's check raising you like with straight draw with draws and trying to get you off of pots and kind of in there dancing a lot, then maybe you should check behind him. So I think it's based off of how much he's check raising on the flop. It doesn't seem like too much.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like he's playing like that. So I will go ahead and bet because there's a good chance he's going to call you with a lot of hands where you're like way out in front of him.
Hmm.
He's going to call you with 9-8, 9-jack, 9-king,
Hmm.
10-8s, 10-7s, where he's just in really bad shape. And obviously if he calls you and you still can get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would have probably bet because he's from what it looks like he's not really check raising too much on the flop, and that's probably what I would do there in that spot.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. We hadn't played enough hands for me to be sure that I wasn't going to get check raised here, and I think getting check raised is a really big disaster. And I know he's quite good, and I think he's more than capable of check raising here with say Ace Queen or Ace Jack as a bluff or something. So I elected to just sort of take the lower variance safer route and
Okay,
take a card off.
sure. Yeah, that plays fine too.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he ends up betting 100 on the turn, about
Hmm.
two-thirds pot. And I think at this point we pretty much forced ourselves into calling.
Yeah, you have
Um,
to call the river too. I think.
yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I was gonna snap call most river bets.
yeah. It looks like it looks like you turned some sort of flush draw, right?
Yeah,
So
clubs missed as well. So
yeah.
he bets pretty chunky on
Oh,
the river,
it's
which made me.
amazing how you like have one thought in your mind and then like he goes ahead and bets that much and now you're like, ups, maybe I
Yeah,
might change my mind, right?
yeah. I ended up. I If he bet like 235 or something, I was gonna beat him into the pot. But when he bet 300 here,
Mm,
I mean, he's also got to know that I'm gonna have some hands like this in my range, which made me a little concerned.
sure, it makes sense. It makes
I
sense.
think I think I've still got a call down here though.
Yeah. I just don't know how he's playing. I mean, if when he bets a lot, does he always have it? I mean, it looks like the last time he bet a lot, he had two pair,
Yeah,
right, and the other screen. So he might not be the guy that's capable of making this play. You see?
yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's the problem with this hand. He
yeah.
may he might he may not be capable of making not capable, but everybody's capable of anything. But like if you look at the other hand, right, where you had 9-3,
Mhm.
and he overbet the pot, and then he bet pretty decent size in the river. He had two pair. You know what I mean? It looks like his bluffs are. I haven't seen him even attempt a bluff yet. I mean,
Yeah,
unless I missed it. It looks like he's trying to play solid and trying to grind you out. And a guy that's trying to grind you out is not really going to, bet 100 on a turn and then bet 300 on the river into like almost a dry pot. You know, a pot that's
yeah,
not really that big, I don't think. So it's like you just got to take those things into consideration.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wanted to fold the river, but I
Sure.
couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah. This is really
Um,
important, I think, to really think about how the session is going. I think a lot of people miss, like in poker, like how the session is going on this given day. Like, you have to really think about all the hands you play with him. I'm sure you do that. I'm just saying, in
mhm.
general, what I like to do is really think about like the big picture of all the hands I play with him and what he's thinking, his psychology, and why, like like how he's betting and would he bluff in this spot. You know what I mean? So it really makes you make better decisions based off of like what they're capable of doing based off of your history, and not so much like, okay, well, I know I'm supposed to just call him here and then call him again on the river here if he
Yeah,
bets again. You know what I mean? Because you kind of can get yourself in a little bit of a what do you call it? Like a little bit of a a thing where you're just like playing like almost like a computer a little bit. You know
Yeah,
what I
you're
mean?
too robotic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So you just got to be careful with that, I think.
I agree. I think that's a trap that myself and a lot of other players, especially who play online, fall into. We end up playing math instead of playing poker,
Yeah,
and that's a big problem.
yeah. And sometimes I don't play enough math. So there you go.